get everybody in here. Eric, what's the update on your deal?
There's still one, like basically a judgment or a lawsuit that the owner was involved in a long time ago. They're still trying to get it released. So hoping this week, but slow moving.
Got it. So it might not close due to the lawsuit?
I don't know. I mean, the last thing they have, the title company, that was a plaintiff's attorney is trying to get hold of his client to sign a release of judgment. So we're getting well.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Everything else is set up?
Yeah. We're going to talk to Michael Keo, the lender, this afternoon, and he's getting everything ready on his side.
Good. All right. Who else in here? David, Olga, both of you guys came to the pitch last week. Anything you'd like to share with everybody here in terms of what you learned, or I don't know, anything you took away from the pitch?
Yes, I learned how to find deals. I thought that I can't find a good deal, but I learned how to find it quickly, and plus analyze it quickly too. I thought the analysis might take a while, but based on what we were discussing, we basically analyzed all deals in a very short period of time. So it gave me, I guess, it just gave me more understanding of what's a good deal, what's not. Because before I couldn't really see the difference. Now I'm more clear on understanding what could be a good deal.
That's great. That's a huge takeaway.
Yes, and also, I actually, the deal that I found, it's one of the, so far it's one of the good plan that I have with it. So I'm actually going to look at it tomorrow. But we'll see where it's going to go. But at least it's a good learning opportunity for me to learn from it and see where it's going to take me. Yeah. So yeah, I did like it. It's very much, and I would like to have the same again.
That's great. The deal that you're going to look at tomorrow and the one you brought to the pitch, is it still under contract with the current buyer?
The one that I brought on the pitch, the option period is ending end of this week on Friday. So it's on Friday, they either gonna close it with this deal, the buyers that are under offer right now. If not, they're gonna get to me. But I'm not gonna, like I got told by you and Elliot, I'm not gonna put an offer unless I see it with my own eyes, if I have like a good understanding of what the estimate to rehab. And even if I do, I'm gonna try to lower price even more. So this property is more like a practice to me than an actual deal. Practicing to negotiate.
Yeah, well, very good. That's all very positive feedback. I'm glad that you took all that away within 5 days.
Thank you.
What about you, David?
Yeah, man, I enjoyed it. I just like getting up there and getting all the questions and whatnot, because you kind of start realizing some of the things that you think you may know, but you didn't, you still have to kind of do some more research. So yeah, it was fun. And then it was nice to hear other people do their pitch, because I mean, I'm there as a person pitching and maybe investing as well. So it's good to see both sides of it.
Yeah, and Olga hooked you up with $125,000 loan, right?
Right. I'm still waiting for it. So.
Wait, what is it that you're waiting for me again? I wasn't sure. I need to do something for you.
What's the rate?
10%.
Well, I said that I know how to find it, but the investors that I have, they kind of good friends of mine, so that's why they can easily give cash to me. But in order for them to invest in something else, to the deal that I'm personally not involved in. I don't know how they're going to be interested into that. Like they want to be, they would love to invest in something that I would personally guarantee that this going to work for them, because they trust me, but I don't know if they're going to be able to, if they would want to trust, not the trust, but if you want to work with the other people too. Like I didn't ask them. This is what they said at the beginning to me, but I don't know. I guess I can ask and see what's going to say.
It's worth a shot.
Worth a shot.
Timberly, any feedback you want to share with anybody from what you took away from or learned from the pitch?
Yeah, so there were definitely some key points that I had left out when I was analyzing the deal, or that I just didn't know about. And so that was really great to hear Alex and Elliot's feedback of what other things that they needed to be able to try to put the deal together to see if it was good for them. And the biggest thing is like looking at all these different deals, like they're probably going to be bad up front, but it was cool to see that you can structure them into a good enough scenario for each type of investor. So that was really like my biggest takeaway, is being able to learn that you can structure those terms. So
Very good. That's great. Thank you guys again for joining. We'll do the pitch again. I think we learned some stuff about the last one, so next pitch we throw, it'll be even better. All right, well, before diving into today, does anyone have any questions at all regarding anything? Analyzing deals, anything at all, any questions? All right, well, good. Well, let's dive in. Does anybody have any deal they want to analyze right now?
I wanted to see if there was maybe another way that we could try to structure the deal that I had brought last week. So they came back and told me that they didn't want to do seller financing anymore because they want the equity out of the home. And now I don't know how else to try to make it work. Like I'm not as knowledgeable in these situations to try to problem solve and see how it could work. So I didn't know if that would be worth looking into.
Yeah, well, let's look at it. What's
okay.
the address again?
It is 1114 Remington Drive, Leander.
All right. So a few, do you want to give everybody the backstory on it real quick?
Yeah. Okay. So the current tenants that are in it, they cannot afford to really ever buy a house, from my understanding with the listing agent. Their rent is $1,900 and they've been there for a few years. They don't speak any English, only the oldest son does, and there's 6 people living in the house. So the tenants have a very strong connection with the listing agent, or sorry, not the listing agent, the owners. The owners really want to take care of these tenants, and ideally they would be looking for the tenants to stay there for a year or moving them out into another property that is in their local area and price range. So they really just want to take care of the tenants, but the people who own the home are also investors and want to get the equity out of this home to invest into their other projects. So they just want to get rid of the home in general. But before, they were telling me that they were open to seller financing, and now they're not. And so, yeah, I just want to see if we can try to structure this another way. The house is in pretty good shape. I haven't like been by to see it yet. When I did want to go see, the mother had a friend pass away and didn't want anybody walking around in the house. The carpets are pretty like stained and stuff, so we do know that needs to be fixed. There is flooring in the kitchen that has been done, but the rest of the house does need different flooring. It's going to need some paint touch-ups because the paint is pretty gnarly inside. She did warn me that the pictures in the MLS look a lot better than in person. And then just updating like the bathrooms really, to get a higher price for if you did want to sell it. So I don't know if anybody has any questions, just shoot them out.
So just so I understand, their goal is to sell it, but to allow the tenants who are there now to stay another year.
Right. Yeah. That's what she said ideally. And I had asked, I was like, well, because she's like, I don't know why no investor is like picking this up. Like there's already a tenant in it. And I said, well, because, obviously like some people just really want to get a higher price or sell the home, from what I think. So I asked her if somebody bought this home and they had another relocation and solution for these tenants in the general area in the same price range, if they would be willing to relocate. And she said yes. She said obviously she knows that with a new owner coming in, the terms are going to be dependent upon the owner and the tenant. I also don't know when the lease ends yet. The agent hasn't really been responsive to me in the past couple of days like I wanted her to be. So I don't know exactly when that ends either.
So here's my thoughts is, well, first and foremost, what was the rehab cost you estimated?
I had put like 42,000, but that might be like a lot. It has a new roof, it has a new fence, it has a new AC, all of that stuff. But yeah, I mean,
Let's just call it 40.
okay.
All right, so here, right? So what's the value of the house? What do you think the ARV is?
I put
After repair value.
I had put like 390 to 400.
Even though the house next door sold for 335, has more square footage, and it's a 4-bed.
I guess I didn't see that one.
You see
Is
it?
it updated though?
I mean, semi, yeah, enough. Updated enough. More than this one.
Oh,
Not completely, but
and that one closed at 335.
yeah.
Okay.
So here's what I would do is if they're not open to if they're not open to a seller finance situation where the tenant stays and pays the rent that they're paying, I mean, maybe they'll take a low offer, and I would calculate it by doing the ARV times a good number to go from would be ARV times 0.7 minus the repairs. And then that would put you at, a really good number to make a low offer on. If they're not wanting to explore any creative ways, you could also make an offer to buy the house. And maybe if they really want these tenants to stay there, maybe they'd be willing to pay more in rent for this tenant to stay there, on top of what the tenant's currently paying, which I doubt they will be. Like Elliot mentioned, like how bad do they really love these tenants? If they really want these tenants to stay there and pay the rent at the rate that they're paying, then maybe they'd be willing to pay extra for these tenants to allow them to stay there after their lease expires for you to renew it. Or if they want to sell it all together, then since you're going to be losing money on it on a monthly basis, based on the rental income that's coming in, maybe they'd be willing to sell it at a low enough price. But I would say it's going to be hard for them to sell it with the situation at the price they're wanting to sell it at. And it's current condition with the tenants in place.
And the agent did let me know that if it doesn't sell in the next couple of weeks, they'll be taking it off market, moving their tenants into another home so that they can do renovations and then get a higher price for the home.
Yeah, and it comes back down to just like everything, the motivation and the story, right? Like how motivated are they? If they're not that motivated and they're not going to get what they want with this current situation, then the best route for them is probably to get the tenants out, put the 30 to 40 grand in renovating it, relist it and sell it at market value. If that's the route they want to go, but it's going to take them time. It's going to take them a lot of time to do that, and capital to put the money in, and oversight to see how the work's done properly and all that stuff. So if they're not that motivated, I bet they do go that route.
Do they have a existing loan on it?
I tried to ask that too. I still haven't gotten that back from the listing agent. Because I was trying to figure that out. I was trying to figure out how long exactly the tenants have been there.
Yeah, it looks like the last time it was listed for rent was July of 2019.
Okay.
So they've potentially been there for going on 4 years if it's the same tenants. But I was wondering if they had a loan, if it's a 2017, 2018 loan, it might be below market rate. And if you could assume it, that might be enough to help your numbers.
Okay. So could we talk about that option then?
We could, but it'd
But
be
we
good
need to
to
know how much they
Yeah.
have left. Would
it'd be good to talk about that option when we know the numbers.
Okay.
Right.
But what do you understand what Robert's suggesting?
Yes, somewhat. I can't really recite all of it back to you, but yes, I do understand the
But
general understanding of it.
Say they have a $150,000 loan balance on it. And that loan balance is at a 2.5% interest rate. There might be a way to still get equity out of the home, but for you to take over, or an investor to take over that 150 balance at 2.5% versus getting a new loan at 6-7%.
Okay.
But to
So
do
in
that,
that case-
it also requires some sort of seller financing willingness on their behalf.
Right. But with the assumable loan, they can still get the equity that they've put into the house out.
Yeah,
From
and it's not even necessarily assuming the loan. It
Subject to.
it may just be keeping the loan in their name, but you or investor making payments on it moving forward. But yes, I mean the loan balance is the loan balance. So if they sold it for 300 cash today, that loan balance would get paid off, and then they would have their equity. So the loan balance is going to be the loan balance regardless, and their equity is the difference between loan balance and what they sell for.
Okay.
So what I would do here is I'd probably reach out to the agent and pry and say, look, hey, Timberly, I'm trying to get a deal done here. I need some information. I really want to make this work. I love the property, but I need to work through these questions and get some answers on these things so we can figure out, a way to get this done.
Yeah. Okay.
And go ahead. What's your question?
So first of all, could we do some subject to, I'm kind of interested in that and the assumable. So like, for example, I have a client, like I might even buy her house, but I'm curious, like if she's got 80 grand left on the loan, it's an assumable and it's a, lower rate or whatever. How do I buy it, or how do I assume the loan and then do I start making payments to her monthly payments until it reaches the amount owed? How does it work to benefit them so they get out of this, but then they can go buy something else if it's not a straight out sale?
Sure. So I'll give you a real example of one that I hope we get under contract today. So there's this lady who's got this property, and y'all want to try looking at the whiteboard today?
Yeah, that would be great.
Let's see if y'all can see it though.
Yeah. Kind of.
Y'all let me know. Can you see the whiteboard if I write on it?
Yeah.
If
I
you
can-
write big,
Huh?
if you write big,
Okay.
Hey,
All right. So there's this lady who's got trying. All right, there's this lady who's got a house that's worth, Chris, we're talking about Robin. You think it's worth about 520,000 as is right now? Maybe a little bit of work to clean it up.
Yeah, a little bit.
So it's worth about 520 as is right now. And when I say a little bit of work, I mean, she's just needs to be cleaned. There might be a few small little paint touch-ups. We could probably, if the dog is scratched anywhere in the house, we could probably fix that up. But I mean, all in all, this property is in very, very good condition. So less than $3,000 total worth of work for it to be
Oh, wow.
condition ready to roll. It was built in, I think it was built in 2016 or 17, right? 2017. Y'all can still see that?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So she has a loan balance, principal balance of 368,000, give or take. We'll be able to fully figure this out once we get docs from the lender. And she wants to stay in the house. So here's a unique situation where Chris and I went and met with this lady, and there's a whole long story that led us into this situation. But we told her, you know, if you want to get some cash and get the most for selling your house, you should just list it. Let's list it at 520,000. And you'll get, you know, the $140,000 worth of equity minus closing costs. Like, that's the best route for you. If you want to sell your house and you want to get cash, let's just list your property at 520, try and sell it there, and we'll get you all your equity that you have in it. But this lady really wants to stay in her house. She wants to rent it back out for a ton of emotional reasons. And she's not in foreclosure, but she needs cash to get out of a situation that she's in.
She's
So-
not refinancing, Alex?
No, she's not refinancing. I mean, she right now with balance at 368 and principal, you know, and value at 520, she's already at her 75% LTV anyways. So, I mean, if her loan balance was like 200, she could do a cash out refi and get some equity out. But she's already at pretty much her max LTV. So it'd be hard to get a new loan on it, as is, right? But she really wants to stay in this house. So we're trying to work this through it, you know, with her. And I just said, look, like, we could buy it from you and we'll rent it back to you, but I'd give you like $12,000 and then we would now own the house. So we would get all this equity. We'd give you 12,000. Your rent payments are going to have to be higher than your mortgage payment because we're going to have taxes, insurance, property management, blah, blah, blah. Your rent's going to go up. I mean, what you're paying monthly is going to go up if you want to stay here and rent it back from us, just so that we can break even and get a little bit of cash flow. And you'd have to value staying in your house would have to be worth more than, you know, 120,000 basically to you for you to choose this route. And she's choosing the route. She really wants to stay in the house. She, you know, she doesn't want to leave. And so we're going to give her 12K at closing minus any extra that we don't know about. But I don't really want to bring more than 12,000 plus title and escrow costs to closing. So that number actually might go down a little bit. But anyways, she's got this balance, 368 at, I think it's like at a 5% interest rate. So it's nothing special necessarily. It's not like the best interest rate out there. It's lower than probably what we would get if we were to buy this house from her. But one of the benefits to us taking over this mortgage payment at 5% is, you know, we're not having to go get an appraisal on the house. We're not having to pay loan origination points on it. we're simply just going to start making the mortgage payments on it moving forward. The loan's going to stay in her name. To answer one of your questions, and we are going to get her login for where she pays her mortgage. We're going to change the login, change a lot of the security answers. That way she couldn't log in and change anything. It'll basically be our account moving forward, but it'll be in her name. And we'll make the mortgage payments on it moving forward versus us paying her and her paying her mortgage, if that makes sense. But she's going to pay us $3,500 a month in rent. That's going to cover the mortgage, the taxes, the insurance, any maintenance, property management, and it'll give us the cash flow. And so we'll come to closing with probably, if she does get 12,000 in her pocket at closing, we'll probably come to closing with 15 at max, and we'll be getting about $2,400 a year in cash flow, which is give or take about a 15% cash on cash return on it. And I've had to explain to her, if you can't pay your rent at any point in the future, because the rent that she's going to be paying is about $800 more than market rent. But she really wants to stay there. And we've had to explain to her that, look, if you can't pay your rent at any point moving forward, we're going to have to sell the house, just so you know. But here's an example of a live one that we should be getting under contract today, where we'll bring 12,000 plus or minus to closing. We're going to take over this mortgage balance and we're going to start paying the mortgage moving forward. She's going to stay there, rent it from us, and pay us the rent moving forward. And so worst comes to worst in a year, and she says, hey, I don't want to live here anymore, I'm moving out. We could try and figure out a way to keep it, but I doubt rent's going to go up $800 over there in a year. So in the event she does rent it out for a year, we collect, our cash flow. She says, hey, I'm moving out. I don't think we'll get a new tenant paying the same rate. So we'll likely just sell it at that point and capture, the equity that we got when we bought it.
But so really, she just gets to live there and she's got 12 grand. Like, so how do you, for somebody that doesn't want to live there and would like to do a seller finance, basically, how do you get them money? Is it monthly payments? Like, she stayed there and she forfeited her equity. Yeah. Y'all got it.
Correct. Is that what you're talking about here?
No, yeah, there. But I mean, I'm talking about for my person, I'm just wondering, how do you take over their loan and actually make them enough money to be able to go buy something else?
Well, you do it with your down payment to them, if that's part of the deal. Like, say, I don't know, say this house is worth $1 million and her principal balance is 368. If she said, I need to get 200K at closing, you could give her a $200,000 down payment, if that's what you're asking.
And then do you pay him monthly after that? Anything?
It just all depends on the deal, but yeah, I mean, potentially if there's another balance, but if you're only taking over the current loan balance,
Yeah,
and that's all you're agreeing to pay monthly moving forward, then no.
Yeah, you want to make that payment straight to the bank so that
Mhm.
that former seller can't screw it up, and you want to have online access to the payment portal in that regard. And then sometimes when you ask these sellers, do you need this, loan paid for your next property? Some are like, no, I'm going to rent. No, I'm moving in with Aunt Josie. I've got a second house. So we just ask those questions.
And if if they say, no, I need some money to do it, you do like what he just said, you do a big down payment or you get them.
Yeah, I mean, we've had some where they speak to their, we had one guy, he was buying in Oregon and he was financing a new home and he had his existing home here in Round Rock. And I said, we need something in writing that you do not have to pay off this note to purchase that, or like in your situation, like you mentioned, the lender would say you need X amount of dollars and you can keep that loan in your name and not have it paid off.
Okay, makes sense.
You're muted, Alex.
Understand that, and so it's all part of the deal, right? Like, you're negotiating these things. There's no, this is what's really cool about structuring deals like this, is there's no structure. You can do it however you want to. You can structure it with whatever both parties agree to. So if they say I need 200K at closing, you can say I only got 100. You know, are you good with that? Or you can say, no, I need 0 down payment, but I'll pay you 100K, you know, over 36 months. It's completely 100% negotiable, all terms and aspects of it.
Okay, and you don't even have to mess with the bank.
Don't have to mess with the bank.
How'd you say you got the 200 when you came to closing, or you came, because you're not closing if you're doing it assumable, yeah?
You're
Or
still
do
closing.
You close with a deed or something?
Yeah,
Deed.
so, yeah, we're going to closing, and there's gonna be a transfer of the deed here. And title's gonna run title, they're gonna make sure everything's good. We're gonna get the deed, and then we'll pay her, in this scenario, we'll pay her the 12. If, like I said, everything is still accurate with those numbers, but if we order the payoff and the numbers are much different, and they're saying she owes $6 grand right now to bring the loan current, then I'm not gonna pay her 12 plus 6. I told her, you know, if we get the payoff and it comes back that we have to bring extra to closing, it might adjust this 12K that you're gonna get.
And the benefit for her is she couldn't pay her rent anymore, her mortgage anymore. Is that right? Like, because I feel like,
No, it's a
I mean,
really
maybe
long,
it's a long story. I'm just saying in general. So because she's forfeiting quite a bit of equity, does she gets that?
yeah,
But she's no choice.
she has a choice. She's emotionally choosing to stay in her house versus get the equity.
Okay, interesting.
We have
Really
a good
very sad.
presentation on sub 2 wraps that we could, I think we could upload that in the file section on the community page.
That would
Because
be
there are
fun.
little intricacies about like insurance, the lost payees. If you screw that up, that lender's red flags will go off on the sub 2. There's rare circumstance where the seller will call the bank and say, oh, I sold it to Teifke Real Estate. And they're like, oh, really? Thanks for sharing. You know, making stupid mistakes. But we have, when you use a local, we have a great local preferred title company that they put it all together for you. There's lots of little steps, and I can upload that presentation because you can get lost in the details a little bit in terms of wraps, sub 2s, if you're using a seller financing addendum, assumption addendums.
Do y'all take a course on that, on those? Or course, you know what I mean? Like, is there one of your, Alex, kind of like your,
You're in it right now.
okay, well, I just meant like, all we do is the one day is the subject to or seller financing. And
Yeah, we'd love to. We haven't created a formal course on it where videos recorded and all that stuff, but it's something I want to do. And then you know, any day, any time, we can go over them, and we can host things that go over them.
Okay,
It's a really good opportunity right now.
yeah, all the
when-
expired listings too, right?
Yep, expired listings, withdrawn listings. It's a really good opportunity right now because there's a lot of good interest rates out there that you can't get today.
Yeah, what was yesterday? He had 2.875.
Wow.
Who was that?
That was the one down in San Antonio. He's the guy that was trying to keep it, has been paying the estate and all that stuff. But I mean, you could owner finance wrap that at 4.875 or something like that and get a big hefty down payment.
And where are you getting the down payment, the big hefty one?
So if you were to purchase that sub 2, then you could turn around and resell it and you can make the margin on the rate. So the 2.875 versus like a 4.875. And somebody that doesn't have to go through the bank qualifying process
Yeah,
and all the underwriting nightmares of tax returns, income, credit, the whole deal. We've seen ones where they will give you a 10-20% down payment, you know, to get into a deal like that, where they don't have to go through all that scrutinizing of underwriting and stuff.
Yeah, I sold one last month like that,
what's that called that you just talked about?
a wrap.
A wrap. You're wrapping around their mortgage?
Correct.
I'm asking, okay.
Alex, you mind if I explain what I did last month on mine?
Great, please.
Yeah, so I bought a property 2 years ago for the purposes of it being a rental. So I had a loan on it for as of May was $190,000 principal balance at 4.875. So what I did is we put it on market, owner financing with a wrap. So the only thing we do is do an owner finance. So I sold it at a higher price, got a 10% down payment, and I sold it at 7.875. So I wrapped my loan with a seller financing loan around it, and I get to keep the difference between what I pay my current mortgage and what the new buyer is paying me every month as far as principal and interest. And the benefit of that is that insurance and taxes are on the buyer because I sold the home, right? It's not my insurance, not my tax inflation anymore. That's theirs. All I care about is the principal and interest payment being made and keeping the spread between what I owe and what they're paying me. Does that make sense?
You're on mute, and
Yeah, sorry, that makes sense. Wow, that's really interesting. Can we do some more like that? So we learn them?
yeah, absolutely. I'd love for you guys to bring these every day, and we look at these. These are really good opportunities. I mean, and like you mentioned, and for anybody here who has questions on where to find these, and you mentioned expired listings, great opportunity. Pre-foreclosure deals, good opportunity. Withdrawn listings, good opportunity, right? Because taking over some of these payments and structuring these deals, you can pay higher prices for these properties. And depending on the deal, it almost doesn't, to a certain extent, it almost doesn't matter what price you pay for it, so long as the terms of the deal make sense. Monthly payments, how much you're going to be getting in rent, is it going to be cash flowing, how long is left on the loan. So you can turn, just like Timberly was talking about earlier, a deal that doesn't look like a deal can be a great deal if approached from a different, more creative way.
That sounds awesome.
So contact expired listings, contact withdrawn listings. Every time you speak to a listing agent, you should ask them if the seller would consider seller financing, or if this could be an option. We make about, I told everybody this is the pitch, but we make about, Chris, how many offers a day do we make? 100 or so?
100, 150, something like that.
We make 100 to 150 offers every single day for properties listed on the MLS. And I'll show you guys an example of what it looks like. It's nothing complex. Let me know if y'all can see my screen.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the email address that we send offers from, and this is what we say. Basically, just these are some random property in Seguin. We said, hey, Chris, blah, 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 hope all is well. We're looking for opportunities in neighborhood for our growth fund. I think this would be a good deal for our fund to buy. We've done a few deals with brokerage name. Love working with y'all. Do you think the seller would consider X offer? And usually we just do about 70% of the list price. This is not our final offer though. So, you know, I think a lot of people get caught up in having this number be perfect, where I'm looking this up. I'm going to walk it. I'm calculating rehab costs. I'm doing the whole formula. Our model with making 100 to 150 offers every day is to shotgun blast low offers and see what comes back. Because just like we've been talking about every time we talk about deals, what we're looking for is just motivation. So we're looking for somebody to call me and say, hey, you just sent me an email, yeah, I think the seller might consider it, blah, blah, blah. And if we get someone that comes back and wants to discuss, then we start diving in more, which is not 150 of them, right? If we send 100 of them, maybe 2 to 3 reach back out with some level of interest in exploring this offer. And that's all we're looking for, is that motivation to see if we can get a deal done. We say this, a lot of this stuff is here just for our CRM purposes, but we just send these low offers. We see if somebody comes back. We tell them we would consider seller financing if the seller is open to it. And then we try and get on a phone call with those who come back with some level of interest and take the deal, further, have these conversations with them, ask them about seller financing, ask them about the loan that's in place, and go through this whole dance until we find one that'll work.
And so a lot of it is the loan that's in place. Not a lot, but it's significant.
What do you mean?
It depends on what the loan terms are.
For subject to purposes, yeah, a lot of it depends on the loan, but also to the loan, the equity, the value of the property.
Right. And somebody has done just at least a little bit of due diligence to see if it's worth a damn, or is this just an expired or withdrawn or whatever that you guys, this is the way you shoot it out, 70% off the list, the price that didn't work?
Yeah, these are active listings that we're making offers on like that. And there's zero due diligence that goes into it. It's active listing, 70% of list price offer. And then the due diligence part comes in after we've had conversations with people and they've expressed interest in being, willing to work a deal.
So it's worthy of your time to go do the due diligence. Okay, nice.
Yeah. I don't even know if it would be possible to do the proper due diligence on 150 properties listed on the MLS today. It's because we're not looking, all we're looking for in this exercise is motivation. Who's going to respond back or call back with some level of motivation to discuss how to get a deal done? And that's who we want to talk to. You get a lot of people who call and are not very happy with the offer. You get a lot of people who send you an email back and curse you out. And I'm glad that they did that, because we know that that's not the person that we're going to get a deal done with on this property. But all you guys can do that. I mean, if we had 12 people in here tomorrow, go make 100 offers on the MLS, just send the email. I'll post our template in the entrepreneur community page. If everybody in here did that 100 times, that would be 1,200 offers that we made just tomorrow. And I guarantee you that us 12 turn up some sort of opportunity there. The other key factor in this is the follow-up. So, if it was just listed today, and we make that low offer, they might not be willing to accept it. But if it's listed 60 days from now and they've had 4 price drops, they might be much more willing and open and have much more motivation to sell the property at a price that makes sense to us or someone else. And so, like I said, if we could get 12 of us doing this at least twice a week, that'd be 2,400 offers a week that we would make collectively. And I guarantee you we'll find deals.
Well, that's
What's
Especially
the
with- yeah.
what is the ratio?
For a list price to offer,
Mm-hmm. I'm
Would you-
wondering in the ratio to get a response and ratio to close a deal, and based on your experience.
I don't have a exact ratio for you, but I'd say that if you sent 100 offers, you'd get about 3 responses back. That'd be worth exploring further.
And
Now,
Alex,
the ratio gets higher if you follow up and you see which ones have stayed on the market, which ones have had price drops. You send follow-up responses to those who didn't respond back to you. So the better your follow-up game is, the higher your closing ability becomes.
Yeah, we're actually transitioning over to significant follow-up tomorrow on all these hundreds and thousands of offers we've made. But I think if you get lost in the minutia of the intricacies of the deal, it's a little paralyzing. But you just need to know enough to be dangerous. It's worth 500. They owe 300. They got a killer rate. Put this in the hot list, and I'll dive into it. And then in terms of structuring it, we can walk you through if it's a sub 2, if it's a wrap, if it's assumable, the way to do it. We took down those duplexes in Round Rock, and Alex and Matt were like, yeah, there's a deal here. Throw together a seller financing addendum. Never did one to that point in my life.
yeah.
And I was like, what the hell? Let's just figure it out. And you just fill in the blanks. We asked the guy, we're like, well, for it to cash flow, we need interest only. He's like, okay, just ask the question. So you just need enough to be dangerous. And then title companies, us, everybody like that, put it together with you. So,
Hey, Chris, question on how do you know what's left on their loan? Like, I know from talking to them, you would know that, but you have no idea just from the expired listing, right?
yeah, I mean, you don't really, and we've been in some deals where they swear the rate is this, the balance is that. And like I like to do is say, get me a statement. It's just another qualifying tool, because if they're like, well, if we can get a deal together, then you don't really see the motivation. When they respond in an hour with a statement from the lender,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, okay, these guys want to play ball. And then you want to get a promissory note from the lender that shows, is it 15-year term, 30-year term, that type of thing, other than just the rate, the balance and stuff like that. And then we will get an authorization to communicate with the lender so they can like they do with a title company. That way the lender will talk to us, or we did one last week, just a 3-way call. So the owner, you, and the bank are on the phone call. The bank's, it's none of their business why you're asking these questions. But we just say, we just need the promissory note, the current balance, the reinstatement amount, those type of things if it's past due. And they'll usually tell it to you over the phone, or they'll email it, or whatever you want.
And Alex, if we do these, if we get some, we can bring it back to you, Chris, whoever at your group, regardless.
Let's do it every day.
Okay.
Let's analyze like 100 of these a day.
Look at Alex, you got a live, Alex.
Well, that's the purpose of this. I mean, the purpose of this isn't to sit in here and theorize every week. The purpose of this is for us to go out there, do some deals, make some money, build some wealth, add some properties to the portfolio. I mean, that's why all y'all joined this is to invest in real estate. So let's invest in some real estate.
Yeah. Okay. So it takes a minute to absorb, by the way, but to theorize. But okay, so that's a good point. So we do that, and then I don't need to worry about whether I really can buy this deal. I'm going to bring it to you and say, let's talk it through. What is this even a deal?
That's right. Let's do it.
Okay, fun. I'll do it.
But what's the one thing you're looking for with these offers? Motivation. So you come back and you're like, I found someone with some motivation. I made an offer 70% of the list price. They came back, said they might consider it. Can you help me analyze it? Can you put the thing on remember to put the deal in the template in the chat or whatever? It's already in there. It's in the community Facebook group. And you need to get active in that Facebook group. I'll put
I
it.
don't know how to do Facebook well at all. In fact, I never do it. So I'm not gonna get on there, but is that it?
Yeah, I just put it in the chat for you.
There we go. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Alex, this is Linnell. I may have missed it because I'm driving at this time, but did you say y'all did like a mass email when you send those templates out that you just showed us? Did I hear that? And if you did say that, where did you get the emails from?
The MLS. They're so we send these out to 100 to 150 listings every day, and the emails, the listing agent emails, are in the listing on the MLS. We're just sending it to properties that are currently listed on the market.
Right. Oh, okay. And you send like 10 at a time?
No, so you're not going to do it in a it's going to be property specific, right? Because every property is going to have a different offer. So manually send out these emails, and you can copy paste the template, and you can have these emails sent out in a matter of 7.5 seconds each email. Once you get in the rhythm and groove of editing this template and sending it. We also, for those in here who want to who like actually try this and want to put a system in place with this, there are things that you can implement that can automate it and make it much faster and easier. But I would suggest for those who are just going to try it out, just start off by doing it manually. At a very minimum, what this will teach you is market knowledge. You'll get good at making these offers. You'll get good at or better at having conversations with these listing agents and discussing the deals. There's nothing bad that's going to come from it, other than you're going to have to put up with someone being negative towards you, which is going to happen. And just pray for those people.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I definitely I'm going to try it because I want to learn that part, that skill, and
Good.
just increase the knowledge on that. So you sent the template in the chat. I'll get it from the chat.
Okay.
Thanks, Alex.
You're welcome. It's also in the Facebook groups.
Okay.
Hey, and hey, Ann, and going back to one of the questions you asked earlier about how do you know about their mortgage? The details are public record as far as if they have a mortgage, what that loan amount is, typically the duration of that loan. So you can estimate how much they might owe on a property if you're willing to do that extra step in the county clerk's office.
You get it from the county clerk's office is the loan part?
Yeah, like, so I'm looking at a deed right now, or a filing for a property that just expired. It was listed for $299. He bought it 2 years ago. He has a VA loan for $279, which means he probably still owes $277 because he's only had it for 24 months. So he might be a good example of somebody you might try to get subject to, because if it's a VA loan from 2021, it's probably
wow.
3%.
Yeah. Hey, so can you flip your phone around or something and let us see what you're looking at? Because I'm familiar with all the county stuff, but I never look at loans or.
Yeah, so it's just the public records, and I'm technically looking at Bear County, so I can't promise you that Travis County is as easy.
That's okay.
I don't know if Alex will let me share my screen or not. I don't think I'm enabled to do that.
What is,
Try it real quick.
or even like just take a picture and put it on chat or send it to me text.
Yeah, what I'll do is I can put the county website, the link in the chat.
No, it doesn't matter about the link. I just need to see like, where are you
Oh.
looking specifically in your thing? So I could kind of find our number. That's how
Got it.
basic, I'm sorry, just,
It'll be in the link too, though, and I'll show you.
okay. All right.
Yeah, Alex,
so-
I don't know if you want to pull it up on your screen, just the Bear County Clerk's office, and I can give you the deed number that I'm looking at.
Yeah, go ahead.
What happens if we just all start sending like offers to these people and expired, and then they see like 10 Teifke people?
Well, I'm not
Then
crazy.
they're definitely
I'm
gonna
not
be
typing.
said.
It-
Then they definitely gonna think that Teifke Real Estate is definitely interested in buying houses.
I'll
They're
tell you
gonna think
what,
they have a good property.
it won't be the first time.
Like, I don't know, like, should we break up a list or like, I guess just all of us randomly start?
How about we do this? If y'all are serious about doing this, and I think this would be really powerful if everybody here would commit to it. You don't have to do 100 a day, but if everybody in here did do 100 a day, like I said, that'd be 1,300 offers we'd make. We would find so many deals if everybody would do this. But if everybody is serious about it, why don't you go in the Facebook group? And I commented in there the template that I simplified it down a little bit because you don't need all the CRM specific stuff that we have in ours. And just comment in there the zip code or neighborhood or city that you want to attack, and then everybody can pick their own little zip code or neighborhood or whatever. That way everybody's not the same.
We could also do a shared drive Excel sheet if we wanted to. And then I just want to really encourage you guys that it's all about follow up. So if you go and get all motivated and send out 100, good for you. But if you're not following up in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 months, it's pointless. So I think, yes, commenting maybe different cities or zip codes, we could create a shared Excel. This would be Alex's and I's dream, but we just never had anybody really commit to it.
I mean, there's no way I even want to do 100. I would realistically do 5 a day, honestly.
Yeah, five,
You know,
5, 10. Yeah,
I don't
even
want.
if you did one.
Personally, I don't want to look. I don't want to have to go look on a shared drive. I just want to go and know that those, you know, I'm going to do 5 a month. I guarantee you the ones I'm going for are different than the ones he's going for or she, or because these people are all getting phone calls from realtors asking, can I list your house? They're not asking, can I buy your house?
Yeah,
we're asking to buy. So they want your phone call.
Yeah, well, the clarification is that Alex and them are reaching out to agents. So they're listing out to live, active MLS
Oh,
listings.
you guys already are. That's true. Whatever, figure it out.
And reach out and do your own thing. Reach out. Whatever you do when you leave this call, just pick one of those. Yeah,
Okay.
do one of them. Like call the expireds. Tell them you want to buy it. And
I'll
then
totally do it. Are you kidding? I get them every week.
come on,
Yeah.
let's go.
Okay, that's fun.
The thing is, like, if you're not doing this and you're trying to be an investor, you really are bringing little to no value to your clients, right? Because you're now learning of off-market opportunities, and otherwise you just get on the MLS just like everyone else can. So this just gets you data, and whether it be something you buy or a client, if you know these people, you know, 5 houses in Westlake will take 200K under ask, how valuable is that not only for investing but for your real estate clients?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
2 questions. So first, if y'all are sending out so many emails every week, like how are y'all able to follow up with those? Like, are you following up with the ones that like don't respond still, or just the ones that are responding?
We'll let Chris answer.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's easy to get your attention just to those that respond. But like Matt was saying, I mean, we have got great success. The ones that don't respond in a week or 2 or something, just checking in saying, hey, what changes have happened on your end to see if we can make this deal work.
So how do you manage that when you have so many? You just like whichever ones you don't respond, you're like, okay, I see they don't respond. I'm going to go ahead and send up an email.
Yeah, I mean, there's automation tools. If you're not super savvy like me, though, you can simply just go into your sent items. You can see the ones that were responded to and the ones that weren't. And it's literally copy and paste. Maybe you change their name, maybe you don't. But all you do is say, hey, any changes on your end to make this deal work? ? Send. And you just paste. Like, I mean, these are a lot of, I copy and paste a lot of responses, even when they're not interested. I'll say, okay, well, let me know if something changes. You know, if the owner's open to seller financing, we can maybe improve our offer, or maybe you know of another deal that is a better fit. And you'll get probably 10% response on that last question. And they'll say, well, I got this coming soon, or I got this rusty old moldy deal that I can't move that they'll take a discount on. But yeah, you can see here on the screen share, these are mostly my copy and paste replies. So a lot of those are original offers, and then Gmail makes it sort of easy. You can look into that first column there and see if they've replied or not.
Gotcha. Okay. And then, so someone was saying you're reaching out to the agents. So like even with the withdrawn and like expired, you reach out to the agent, not the owner? Or I guess I'm just confused about that.
No, so what are the 100 offers a day that I was saying that we make? These are all for active listings on the MLS.
Okay.
So all active listings, we make an offer on those active listings. Maybe Chris can touch on the certain criteria we set, but you know, maybe they've been on the market for 30 days, maybe they've had 2 price drops, so on and so forth. And you can create the criteria for these types of listings, and then we just make mass offers on all those listings. And you know, we're a part of so many different MLSs, so it's easy for us to go from market to market to market to market and make these offers.
Yeah.
But what we're talking about here is with making active offers on the MLS for active listings. But you can absolutely pull withdrawn lists, expired lists, and contact those sellers. Paulie, that's all he does is contact withdrawns and expireds, right, Paulie?
Yeah, when are we gonna do that? When are we gonna do that that cold calling session?
We're gonna do it live here in the community one day.
Okay.
Paulie, how much success do you have finding investment deals, expired withdrawns?
I have a question.
One moment, Olga.
Success with expired withdrawals. I mean, we're doing 2 to 3 pieces of business off expired withdrawals a month. For investment opportunities, it's maybe 1 a month, you know, 1 every other month, in conjunction with the other efforts that, as far as where we're fishing.
But we're about to turn it up.
Yes. Yeah, but when we start the texting strategy combined with the calls, and then how we're tag teaming that internally is gonna turn it up.
But you guys, I mean, realistically, what she's asking you, that's a huge follow-up is like the key to every salesperson. I mean, real estate, it doesn't matter what. Yes, it's a hard thing to do what they're doing. And to keep up with it.
I mean, define hard. I mean, is it hard when you make
I don't mean like it's impossible. I just mean what you're doing is there's somebody that needs to really look at that and be committed to it and manage it daily for your whole team, I would imagine, correct?
Yes, like Matt mentioned, if you're not committed to the follow-up, then probably shouldn't try it. But the follow-up is actually very simple in essence. It's just a sentence like, hey, Ann, just checking back in here. It's not real complicated, and to do it doesn't take that much effort. Now, it may be tedious, it may be you know, not the funnest thing that you could be doing in the moment, but if you do commit to this or any other sort of prospecting to find deals and are committed to the follow-up in it, I promise you it'll be fun when you're making $1 million doing it. So I mean, just to find hard and fun, it's because when you're making $1 million, you're gonna say, this is the easiest shit I've ever done. I promise it won't be hard at that point.
I mean, I was doing it solo for a long time, and I just would paste it into a spreadsheet. And so I'd make, maybe on your own, you can only make 5, 10, 20 offers a day. And then I was pasting them in as I made the offers. And then every few days I'm scrolling up. And if it's been a week since I made that one, I just sent a quick email saying, hey, any changes on your end to make this work? So it wasn't overwhelming, but yeah, in the hundreds, it takes manpower, but at $5 an hour for a VA that does this like clockwork on an automation, it's a game changer. I mean, you're literally, these people are getting paid $5 an hour and they're ecstatic, and they will do it all day, and they have their automation's impressive.
What is this? And who is this?
Where you talk about virtual assistants, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, virtual assistants that do this all day, every day.
But I want to before diving into software, CRMs, virtual assistants, all this stuff, I don't want anybody to get paralyzed trying to put together the perfect system. Like if you want to try it, just go do it tomorrow and make 5. Don't do 100. You know, do this for a little bit, commit to it, learn it. You're gonna have to learn it to teach somebody to do it anyways. But all the systems, the processes, all that stuff can get easier and scalable, but just start somewhere.
Can we just submit maybe in the Facebook group, here are the 5 I did today, addresses or,
Let's go, please.
okay.
And I wouldn't worry about hitting, Matt and I and Alex will sometimes hit the same addresses
Yeah,
and we work, it benefits us. So then we come back to the group and Alex is like, oh, he countered me at 250. I'm like, well, he countered me at 245. And then you can play against each other and they're not, you're helping each other get a better deal. So I wouldn't worry about it.
okay. Yeah,
Olga, go ahead.
all right.
You're on mute, so you gotta unmute yourself.
Hey, I have a question. Okay, I got it about those emails and emailing with offers. I understand that part. A question that I have is, what's next? What is it that we're looking for? What kind of deal do you personally need, or what is it that you're looking for? Because for me, it's easier to target specific. Like I'm more like I like to optimize everything that I do. So I don't want to just massive email everyone. I want to target specific what I'm looking for.
Who can, well, if you ask me that, what I'm looking for, who can answer what we're looking for with this or anything else? What are we looking for? What's the one thing, most important thing?
Big Mo.
Motivation.
Yes.
No, I'm asking what kind of deal
But
you're looking for.
It doesn't matter. I want motivation. So it doesn't matter if it's a 0.25 acre lot here in Round Rock. Doesn't matter if it's a $5 million mansion in Lake Travis. Doesn't matter if it's a 50 unit apartment complex. Doesn't matter if it's a 14 unit mobile home park. Doesn't matter if it's a 400 unit storage facility. I want to speak to people who have motivation. And if I can speak to those people, I bet you we figure out a way to make a deal happen. And this is just the entrepreneur way, is in any of these scenarios, if we have the right seller with the right level of motivation, we're going to figure out a way to make money on it. So I want to speak to all of them.
So, for example, if I find someone that is interested to sell, what's next step? To contact you, and then we can see if this is actually something that can be worked out.
Yes, but not just interested to sell, because there's a MLS full of listings. People who are interested in selling, but we want to speak to motivated sellers who responded to your low offer and said, yeah, I would consider something like that. Let's give those people a call.
Okay. Sounds good.
David, you got something? You trying to unmute yourself?
Yeah, hey, I've been kind of going back and forth with that Jackson guy still on that land passes deal. I threw out something about 650 to 700, and he said, send it off, send over an offer. I mean, I don't know if that's something that we wanted to look.
What he had it at like 1.15 or something.
It's 1015.
Yeah, let's send him a LOI. Get with me and we'll type up a LOI. He called me again today. He calls me every day.
Yeah, I looked up those guys, the owners of all those properties. I mean, it's 2 guys that are on there. Seems like that there's something going on there. So that's their motivation, that they're wanting to just get rid of their properties, it sounds like.
I'll call Jackson on my way home too and let you listen if you want. But we can.
The one that you brought to the pitch last week?
Yeah. No, not the pitch, but like 2 or 3 calls ago we did. It's a 6 units, 3 different buildings in Lampass.
Let's send the LOI, David.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I'm down to try what you're suggesting, Alex. I'll start with Georgetown.
All right, let's go. Who else is making the commitment?
Linnell's gonna do it.
Come on. Olga's gonna do it. Ann's gone. She's gonna do it.
I'll
Who
throw
is-
some too. Yeah.
David's gonna do it. Who is RM? Is this Mr. McLeod? If it is Mr. McLeod, go ahead and unmute yourself. Paulie, if you have any interest in looking into this, I can show you how we do it. See if you and your team want to look at it. All right, anybody have anything else? Good work, everybody. And again, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm trying to think if we have anything else going on this week. I think we have a class on Thursday at 10:30 live at the Austin office if anybody wants to go. It's the roadmap class, and I think Matt is teaching it, covering property management stuff if anybody has interest. We have a webinar tomorrow at 6 p.m. if anybody wants to join or invite people to come to that. That'd be great. And then I don't think anything else this week. Paulie, did you raise your finger like you got something?
Yeah, I'm doing Power Hour tomorrow, 11 a.m. So Power Hour is an open mastermind around skills, strategies, and mindset. We focus quite a bit on picking around conversations. So just masterminding difficult conversations, either prospecting or presenting, and working on communication skills to be able to better engage people and more efficiently maneuver to the end result. And so it's pretty interactive, and it's generally based in real estate, not solely based in investment stuff, but it's an outstanding forum in regards to improving your communication skills when you're creating and carrying conversations about real estate. So if you email me paul.visiongroup@gmail, I'll send you the link, paul.visiongroup@gmail. It's tomorrow at 11 a.m. and it's a Zoom interactive Zoom mastermind.
I'll put it here in the chat. Paulie, you put this on?
Yeah, this is me.
If you want to, you could post the Zoom link in the community page as well.
Yeah, I will.
Cool. All right, everybody.
Cool.
Y'all have a great evening.